I almost felt like I died in there. It was like the room was just so hot. They take you to like not drink, and they take you to stay in the room for the entire hour and a half. And it was like really a thing. And this poem has absolutely nothing to do with that, but it was conceived around the same time that I was seriously going to Victory Village, and I was probably in the best shape of my life. It shouldn't take 16 bars to raise one, like the prison bars of caged men that disproportionately target the same men that the slave trade did. I love writing, but I hate rappers. It's so redundant, their rhetoric. I'm a throwback on the boom bappers like Cedar and Sedgwick. I wrote the rubric to bend the Rubiks. Then they blackmailed us. They stole our blueprint. They tried to blackball our black asses, but what's a blackball to a Q-stick? Blotting out of another. Free Mumia, I said stop front and give Asada and all my soldiers asylum up in this bitch. Legend, man, no myth. Prophetic, my hieroglyphics, the Romans taught us story, powers from Mount Olympus, definitive allegory, insanity at its sickest. My skull is my stories cover, no wonder mine is the thickest. Combing through all the thick of these bullshitters, these bitches, counter-revolutionaries that buried us in the trenches. Truth is stranger than fiction. Never no need for pausing. Dead poets and rappers are only skeletons in my claws. Sometimes I rhyme slow. Sometimes I rhyme quick. Sometimes I don't rhyme at all. And because you can't put me into a category, you call me a poet, and hey, I don't mind at all. Because I write like, with Richard Wright would write, but in hindsight, and give a sight to the blind, right? And then the beat breaks, I'm paving streetscapes with my soundscapes with the fluidity of Great Lakes. See, it was almost eerie being all the way up in Ontario and hearing them say that the poet from Michigan was superior. They call me arrogant and said that I was for myself because my afro made the big wigs feel inferior. A hipster, Harvey, more of a mix from Medgar, Garvey, Kwame, Mumia, Tupac, and Marley. A revolutionary, maybe, more of a revolutionary's baby. I'm merely an apple, and from the tree I don't fall far from them. Either I'm reading or I'm writing at rest or work reciting. I try to write twice every day like broke clocks. I'm writing to find a resolution and alleviate our people's confusion, because if I spark the revolution right now, sadly, most people would only watch. You see, our melanin's been diluted, our mindset's been convoluted. You might like my status, but you wouldn't throw a rock. Got the biggest stage in the city with more ears than ever. Misogyny and death and bullshit is all we can think of is talk. New slaves, indeed. Circles are right around the circumference of the earth until it resembles Saturn. I'm feeling like Black Moses, Miss Tuffman with the musket. Anybody can get it. I dare recall what you grab it while you praying to somebody, I'm praying to God body. I pray to my ancestors while savages call it magic. Only speaking in relevance, the average person's intelligence is well below average, and that's tragic. I freed 1,000 slaves in this here underground railroad. I've lost not one of them on the way. I freed 1,000 slaves, but I could have freed 1,000 more if they only knew that they were slaves. That's everything. Thank you. Does anybody know who that quote is, the last quote? I freed 1,000 slaves, but I could have freed 1,000 more if they only knew that they were slaves.
It sounds familiar, but I can't remember the
Harriet? That's Harriet, right? Yep. Harriet Tubman. You said before I announced the prize, you don't get anything, but congratulations, man, you're right. Let me see, what do we all right, so we have to take folks. How do we want to do this? How many artists do we have? How many people do we have that are going to present something? By show of hands. You know who those?
No, we came to watch. She's never been to one before.
Really? That's what's up. I just knew with that hair you were going to say something. I love the hair too, by the way. That's like, that's
The artist is right there.
Really? That's what's up. Okay. All right. That's four right there. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. Come on in, man. Come on in. That's what's up. So I'll probably do it lightning round style, where I don't write people's names down on the list. We'll just kind of exchange an interview. We'll see where this takes us. So
I'll be right back.
Okay, yes sir. You said that you had some pieces?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, well, give me a name again, remind me.
Keontae is my name.
Keontae.
Go by KT.
KT? Okay, got you. All right, y'all, put your hands together, show some love. Give it up for KT. Let me read. Good.
Yeesh.
How you doing?
All right, so what's how we doing this? Just want to do a piece per? Piece per person. It's only 4 of us in here. How you want to do
Do
this?
your thing, man.
I got a couple. I got one that I actually just wrote, so I wanna get that out the way right now.
New shit.
I go by KT the Creative as a stage name. I go by the Creative because I believe creativity is consciousness, and if creativity is consciousness, that means creation is life. If creation is life, as long as I'm creating, I'm always living, and I don't know about y'all, but I want to live. I want to live.
No doubt.
When you live, love is something that you got to navigate yourself through, and I had a conversation with somebody today that led me to write this piece. It's a rough draft, it's untitled, but I'm gonna read it for y'all today. It goes, how do you tell someone you love that love is not enough? Even my affinity with words lack the capacity of poetics when it comes to disappointment. So to tell you I love you would feel more like a confession. Knowing the sin that you would have to bear, having to share my heart with the world, it seems unfair, but not because the love isn't real, but because even promised tomorrows feel like temporary forevers, and since tomorrow was never promised, how arrogant of love to claim defeat. See, true love dissipates as time does. A transforming permanence that casts out fear. So what did it mean that I was afraid to lose you? Substituting love for possession, perhaps. Or perhaps I want to love like the wind. A cool breeze on a summer day, or a chilly gust on a winter's eve. Either way, a transparent flow allowed to move free. See, some say love is a feeling. Some say a choice. And others say action. But love, what if love is simply love, a transcendent phenomenon not meant to be captured by the snares of the human mind. Perhaps the love I requires a shedding of the humankind, where soul ties and love me nots continue to spiritually bind. Let's remove all of the boundaries and simply exist. Because maybe the heart truly knows what's best, and we be smart to follow, even when it leads us into dangers of love. And that's that piece.
That's fire, bro.
Thank you.
That's your new piece?
I just wrote that.
Wow. Are you in love? Or are you in the middle of a breakup? What's the?
Yo, so like last year, it's 222 now. So 2021, early in 2021, I went through a breakup with somebody who, like, I thought I was gonna propose to, bought the ring and everything. So it's funny that we had that conversation beforehand. And I feel like, part of me, I'm not gonna say that. In the past, I had a tendency to just like ignore shit, let it go, and leave it alone. And so now I'm trying to be really introspective about that. I find myself experiencing love in a lot of different ways, and just trying to navigate like what is unconditional love, right? What is love that flows free. And so, when it comes to, people expressing interest or being in situations where, people may want to be in a relationship, but me not really feeling like I want to be in a relationship, but I still want to experience love, like, what is that? What does all that mean? So that's kind of where that's coming from right now. I'm definitely exploring, like, what love actually means, and then thinking that it came one way, like Christian principles, and knowing what love, that definition was for a long time, and just exploring the other side of that right now. So that's where that comes from. This next piece, again, is relatively new. Actually just wrote that this week. And this is actually stemming from seeing all the headlines with Chris Rock being slapped by Will Smith. I just really feel like all of that shit is surface, and it's distraction for us to, not be paying attention to real things that are going on in the world. But again, this was sparked off of that. It goes, I don't think I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I do ignore the headlines. Those narratives are fool's gold, something shiny for you to see. Just enough truth on the surface, because most searchers won't look too deep. Truth, I think most fear what's underneath, because the truth can shatter words like these punchlines through the teeth and silence the gum bumpers in this bubble of hypocrisy. See, the media is just a game of whose line is it anyway. Play and pick the lesser of two evils as if good was in the way, but that is a life that most ain't willing to take. Rather live in Candyland, and guess who's trying to spit in their face? Trouble with that is they pull your card against humanity. Why you think they have code names for operation that leaves us tripping in place? If you ask me, it's blasphemy. This world is spinning backwards, but it's kind of a blasphemy. How you claiming to wake up and then you go back to seat 1 foot in the revolution shit. It's the cat for me, all cats for these words. I'm spitting facts, so don't be atting me. The way they strutting out our so-called leaders like a pageantry got me screaming the only way. Sorry, rewind. All caps for these words, I'm spitting facts, don't be atting me. The way they strutting out so-called leaders like a pageantry got me screaming, they only want a television. So that confirms that this shit's an acting scene.
Talk, boy.
Who's afraid to take a peek behind the curtain? They convinced us to hold mind control in the palm of our hand, and it's kind of working. As you can see, I'm holding it right now. What other system you know can play both sides? That's why it's perfect to be the source of truth when the lies ain't working, but lie about the truth like our eyes ain't working or our minds ain't working. Damn, our minds ain't working. The systems are punitive towards free thought and incentivize the workmen. Now, I am in no way saying that we should shy from putting work in, but do your dreams fly, or do you hide from the uncertain? Those scared heads have us focus on what eyes cannot determine. Those scared heads have us focus on what eyes cannot determine, so how can you be sure about the noun if your mind won't even put the verb in? That's that piece.
That's fire, bro.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Am I good for one more?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Do one more. Go. Alright, and then this piece is titled The American Dream. I'm turning over in this bed the way I imagine the ancestors turning in their graves. Extremely restless.
That's an incredible line.
My blanket is
Yeah, rewind.
I'm turning over in this bed the way I imagine the ancestors turning in their graves. Restless. My blanket of security is frigid to the touch, covering me like a broken promise. The thread count is not that of the finest Egyptian cotton, but of the finest Egyptian bodies, as well as every other land where the ghosts of laborious hands can tell you a bedtime story of a dream that they never saw. A dream spangled in blood-covered stars. A rocket's red glare on a flag planted in the soils of hypocrisy, and then I remembered. This fantasy only saw us working the bedrock, never resting, and for damn sure not in peace. Our piece of the pie tastes a lot like rejection. I can smell the tease of belonging as it rests on the windowsill. I tasted my first slice of go back to Africa nigger before I knew where Africa was, as if white was the only color of a picket fence. As if we didn't stand on those picket lines. As if we didn't pick an axe to till the soil. As if wood was only meant to protect white folk by sending black bodies to hang and burn. See, this insomnia is instigated of a mattress springing memories. Some belong to me. Others just secret my bones are forced to keep. Nightmares where screams for help mimic strangled whispers like those muted cries of Black Lives Matter. I can't breathe and I can't breathe. Because no matter how far I dream, I seem to always find my... Rewind. No matter how far I dream, I seem to always have to find my own yard to play in. A place where my dreams are as cool as the other side of the pillow, but I always wake up to the reality where I ain't free, but I can't be held down because you held bound for thinking this black boy ain't magic. Name a better trick than being able to sleep while black in America. Matter of fact, name a better illusion than the American dream.
Hey.
That's that piece.
Hey.
All right. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Give it up for KT, y'all. Give it up, Fire, man. Fire. You have... I don't say this to everybody because everybody doesn't have the same poetry. You have the poetry that I would like to read because you have so many like tidbits and things that like are thinking about. And you say something else dope, you got to catch up to what you just said so you forget about the last shit. So think about publishing that, man.
I got a manuscript working right now.
Beautiful.
You do.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I liked it. It was just a little hard to keep up with because of the same issue. Like I was still trying to process the thing before, and then it was already another hit. I was like, oh god.
Go for it, man. Need a faster processes. So yeah, I gotta read that again, man. I published my first book about a year ago.
Hey.
Yeah, definitely. I'm happy for everybody that's interested as well. But the hardest part was just uploading it in a way that like the format works or whatever else. Other than that, like the writing is there when you're a writer. The writer's already done, man. So don't do yourself a disservice by not piling it and just putting it out there, man. Like once you do it, you'll see how easy it is, and you'll be doing it for the rest of your life.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm working on my second book. My brother Chris Mann, he's working on his third
Third and fourth.
Third effort, yeah.
At the same damn time.
Man, I don't know where you found a pastel coat like that, but alright.
It's pretty awesome. Like it is like the perfect shade of like, I'm not even sure if it's like a pink or a lavender.
Yeah, I know.
Like it's awesome.
yes.
The answer is yes.
Cool. Y'all come and make yourselves.
I'll move it so y'all got this. Okay.
Where?
So make yourselves comfortable for sure. So a little bit of housekeeping. I have a bad habit of not doing this at the beginning of the show because at the beginning of the show it's like two people. So like it's like I don't even know. I just have to keep repeating the same thing. So I'm like people congregate and I can make the announcement. This is a $10 show for anybody that has cash. You gotta either give it to me or you